AFMC is really known.
And also make sure
Hello and welcome into this week's edition of AFMC TV. We're glad you're joining us. Governor Asa Hutchinson proclaimed November as Arkansas Lifespan Respite Month. Joining us today to talk about this is Sarah Schmidt from Department of Human Services. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. What is Arkansas Lifespan Respite?
So, we like to say that it is the best kept secret in Arkansas.
Ooh, I like this.
Which is a shame because it shouldn't be a secret.
Yeah.
Which is why we're trying to really get the word out about what it is. So Lifespan Respite has actually been around nationally for quite a while.
Okay.
It was born here in Arkansas about 2013.
Okay.
When DHS and some agencies and providers who support caregivers came together just to kind of look at, is there an infrastructure we can build that better helps caregivers?
Yeah.
So what we did is we built a coalition around that. And through that coalition, we started looking at funding opportunities. DHS started applying for federal grants to help with that, which we started receiving some federal funding for. In the last, let's say in 2020, well, pandemic kind of throws you off there.
Yes.
In 2020, we received our latest grant. It's a 5-year grant that is about $1.3 million overall. And it's really designed to help create that infrastructure for caregivers. So we do that through providing respite vouchers to give them some financial support to pay for respite out of pocket. We've developed trainings for individuals who maybe want to be a respite care worker. And then also just the accessibility of where to find the respite workers. So we have built a search locator for caregivers to easily go and find those individuals.
And at the crux of all of this, and at a very, very primal, very basic level, it's help for caregivers.
That is exactly what it is. Yes.
You are that beacon of hope.
Yes.
That white flag.
Yes.
We're here to help you.
It's amazing. The data shows that over 15% of Arkansans actually identify as caregivers.
Really?
But only 90%, actually 90% do not receive respite care. So it's a very needed resource in this state.
Absolutely. So maybe give me an example of how or when these services might be utilized by a caregiver.
Sure. So actually, let's backtrack a little because a lot of people don't even know what respite is.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not a household vocabulary just yet. And you may sometimes hear it mispronounced as respite and different things like that.
Yeah.
So just understanding what respite is, it's a short-term break for caregivers. We liken it a lot to, for example, if you get on a plane, that pre-flight check, when they say, if the cabin pressure changes, the oxygen mask will drop. Please put yours on before helping others. It's the same thing. It's that oxygen mask.
Yeah. That's a great analogy.
Yes. Those caregivers, if you've ever been a caregiver, you know, just the stress, the anxiety that can bring on when you yourself are being so selfless, providing for someone else. A lot of time what happens is you forget about yourself.
Sure.
So respite is really created for that caregiver to take that short-term break, to get away, recharge their batteries so that they can come back and better help their loved one. A lot of times we see that individuals are using respite for taking vacations. And it can be anywhere from a couple of hours to a couple of days. It just depends on your need. We also see them taking it, maybe there's an event, a family event, anything like that, that it would be too stressful to bring your loved one with you, that allows you to go to that. Doctor's appointments. We see people using it just to go to their own doctor's appointments, to go grocery shopping, in the peace and quiet and get it done and be able to come back home. So you can really use respite for a lot of different things.
It's kind of having that me time.
Yes,
right?
that's exactly what it
and
is.
as you said, to kind of recharge, however you recharge.
Right.
So how does a caregiver learn about this program? Do they sign up? How can they find out
Sure.
that there is this
Yeah.
beacon of hope out there for them?
Yeah, so it is available to everyone. That's the unique thing about lifespan respite as opposed to other respites. Many of our DHS programs have respite in their services, their Medicaid plans, things like that. But it requires certain eligibility criteria. With lifespan respite, it's available to all. We say any age, any diagnosis. It's really meant to kind of bridge that gap for individuals who maybe don't qualify for Medicaid.
Sure.
They make too much money in the household. Maybe they're on a wait list for their services, but they're drowning.
But they need something now.
Right. Or maybe you do have respite services in your program, but you've exhausted them all and there's an emergency. Different things like
Sure.
that. There's also several diagnoses and serious health conditions that they're just not programs available.
Yeah.
So lifespan respite is there for everyone. It's very simple. You can just go to our website. It's ar.gov/respite.
It's easy.
That's easy. And we have our 3 categories that you can choose from. The financial assistance for vouchers. If you want training on being a respite worker, or if you're looking for respite workers, our search locator that you can search by your county, by an age range and different filters to kind of narrow down to exactly what you're looking for.
You know, you raise a good point. Of course, we're thinking on behalf of the caregivers, but you've got to have those individuals who are able to step in.
Right.
And so what kind of training do those individuals who are able to step in and fill that gap for the hour to go grocery shopping or what have you, what kind of training, what kind of criteria must they meet?
Right.
If you're thinking, well, I'm not really a caregiver, but I certainly could help in another capacity.
Right. It's interesting. Last year, this was actually brought to us. We had been thinking about training as kind of one of our components. And nationally, they were trying to build a training program, pilot program.
Yep.
So we were invited, and we're happy to be a part of a multi-state training building. With several states and then some national partners. And through that training, what we did is we built a core foundation that will hopefully be a core nationally for respite care workers. So there's some national things in there, but also then we customized it to Arkansas. There are certain laws and statutes
Sure.
that we have to follow. So we've built that, and it is online. It is totally free. It's a self-paced course.
Okay.
All you do is you log into it, you watch an introductory video, do a pre-survey, and it will unlock all the 10 modules where we go over medication awareness, several different things.
Sure.
And then at the end of it, you will take a post-survey where you have to score an 80 or above. And if you meet that criteria, then a certificate is offered to you. That is the core base. We are trying to build on that now to then create badges, in particular, different types of things to go a little deeper. So for example, if you're interested in maybe caring for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, a badge on Alzheimer's and dementia, which gets you a little more into it other than just the foundation.
Sure.
Caring for someone with a feeding tube, how to do transfers, things like that. So that is really a new area for us that we're trying to build. And we are looking at all of our partners to bring us ideas on that. But it's a really exciting time for us to start building that training.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have something else that's exciting.
We do.
You've got a conference coming up.
Yes, we do.
And so share with us about that conference.
Sure. So our conference is actually next week. So next Monday and Tuesday, the 14th and the 15th of November. It's an annual conference that we do. Last year, we did it totally virtual because we were still getting over the pandemic. And it was a 3-day virtual. This year, we're coming back to in-person. But we learned a valuable lesson last year in that allowing it to be virtual allows more people.
Sure it does. From all over.
From all over. What we learned is caregivers can't get away to come to a conference, which we're holding in Conway at UCA. So we are actually going to do a hybrid this year. We're allowing the in-person. We're coming back to that. But if a caregiver or anyone out there is just unable to make it to Conway, they can register for the virtual piece, where they will see the same things everybody at the conference are seeing. They'll still be able to participate in everything else. I mentioned it was the 2-day conference. Yes. It is full of caregiver support sessions, self-care sessions, a little bit more in depth onto our respite program, building the workforce for respite workers, and then also just some panel discussions on there may come a time where you have to look at long-term care options. Right. How do you do that? Caregiver stories. We're bringing real caregivers up to tell their stories, lessons they've learned, things like that. And one of the most exciting pieces for the conference, at the very end on the second day, we are recognizing caregivers this year. This is our first year. This is our inaugural year to do this recognition. We will be handing out awards. The public were able to nominate caregivers and providers and advocates. So we will be doing that this year as well.
If people want to register, be it in person or virtual, what is the registration fee, and then where do they go?
Totally free.
Okay.
It is a free conference. All you have to do, our registration is set up through Eventbrite.
Yes.
So if you'll go to Eventbrite, and all you have to do is in the search, just put Arkansas Caregivers, Arkansas Respite. It'll be the first thing that pops up. So you'll just go in there and select a registration. We do have a virtual option that you can also select to let us know if you're going to be in person or virtual. And it is still open.
I was going to ask, when does that close?
It is still open all the way through the weekend,
Okay.
Particularly for those who want virtual. And then we will close it down probably Sunday night before the event starts on Monday.
Wonderful. Sarah, is there anything else you would like to add?
Just go to our website. Look around. A lot of information. I welcome anyone who wants to come and be a part of our coalition. We have organizations that provide care. We have advocacy groups. And then we also have just caregivers on the coalition. We can think up all we want, these new things, but it's the caregivers who can tell us, is that really going to work or not?
Yeah.
And this is what we really need here in the state. So we welcome anyone to be a part of that. You can find more information about the coalition on our website. There's a membership form there.
Fantastic. Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And best of luck at the conference.
Thank you. Thank you.
It will be an exciting time.
Yes, it will.
And thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you back here next week for more AFMC TV.